Been a different experience playing this year. You've had the track out you've had Clary out for a bit. You've had
Angus
obviously lost Angus
retiring.
Brayshaw.
Yep.
So a lot of you talked about it, the experience and the big bodies and the real class in there has not been around as much.
Yeah, it's been a challenging year for sure. Kicking things off with Gussie, shock retiring at the start of the year. That was certainly extremely emotional for the football club.
Did that shock you?
Yeah.
I was shocked
I don't
on
think I haven't cried that
good
that much for a long time.
Yeah.
So no, it definitely rattled certainly me emotionally, and I know other teammates as well, and the football club. So that was a heavy start to the season, and then obviously some injuries to key personnel as well throughout the year. It's been a challenging one where we haven't quite found our feet, but looking to finish the season off in style against the Pies on Friday, and I'm still super confident that we've got the talent and the ability to be
I
up
agree.
the top
Got
end
some
of
good
the,
young
the
kids.
ladder.
I like what's coming through. Judd McVie and Van Royen and
it's good
Holstrip
kids.
and a few. Yep, nice looking
Rivers.
kids. But there are. I always think, and Todd, you would maybe agree with me that there are always some blokes at footy clubs that you can say goodbye to, and they're not necessarily culturally that hard to replace. Good fellas, but they go and play somewhere else. But then there are blokes that you're really going to miss. And the nibbler, Alex Neal-Bullen, looks to me like that is exactly what he is. We know why he's going back to Adelaide, and we wish him all the best with his beautiful family. But from a Melbourne point of view, he always looked to me like someone who was really important to the club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think, Nibs got the recognition externally, what he deserved and how important he was to our team, because he just set up our game, and you see his work rate, work ethic, his chases, his tackles. He does some freakish things on the GPS numbers. So to lose Nibs for the right reasons is tough. He's putting his family first, which you can only respect. But certainly a tough blow for the D's, and I'm going to miss him for sure.
How is Christian Petrarca? Because we haven't heard from him, and there's a lot of stories and rumours, but I dare say you would have spoke to him. How is he feeling right now?
Yeah, I think it's been a frustrating year for track.
Yeah.
We can talk about track ourselves. Welcome to the official, unofficial podcast of the Melbourne Demons. Jack Viney on Triple M, Rush Hour, talking about Angus Brayshaw and Nibbler there. Thought I'd start there. Tom Marcazzani, Matt Adams. You both join me in the studio. We can take the cans off if we want. Marco, I'll come to you first. You've had a couple of big weekends, my friend. You've had a few Bucks parties. You're feeling a little bit sorry about yourself.
Yeah, feeling a bit sorry for myself, but tomorrow's the start of a new weekend. Kicking things off with a wedding. So I have about 3 of these weekends in me in a year these days. So really testing out my old self.
Sounds like you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, that should be good. No, it's my brother's wedding. I can't bloody wait. Do a speech.
Speech.
And it's an excuse not to watch the game, really.
Is that a best man speech?
Yeah.
Whew. Pressure?
Nah, don't feel the pressure, mate.
No, you're going to eat it up?
No, it's more of an intimate kind of wedding, so it's everyone I know. So
which brother is this one?
this is James, who's next eldest to me.
Okay. How old?
He's 3 years older than me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is
Bombers.
this Bombers. I was
fan.
going to say Bombers.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Because you're a mixture.
yeah, we're a complete mixed bag. So who would have thought coming into this season, the eldest brother, who's a Hawk, is
Riding high.
the one who's like smiling the most.
Good
which
call from the older brother as well.
breaks my goddamn
What a great
heart.
call.
Yeah. Bombers and D's is, I guess we won a flag. But
Imagine being Bombers. Is James pretty dark about Bombers?
He's a realist. Like, he's obviously so cut, but then I have my other brother Ben, who's a bomber, and he's like a couple other a lot of bomber people who just are a bit unrealistic in their expectations, I reckon.
Okay, yeah. Well, a lot of them hate club. I was hating club a little bit at times this year. It's been a bit topsy-turvy. I asked you the question before, Adzy, when we were chatting on the phone and you were picking up a bit of grog for us. Where are you at? How are you feeling about the D's?
I'm still hopeful, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I think what Joel Selwood said the other day about, we're just missing a few puzzle pieces and things can turn around quickly is probably where I'm at. But then I think, Marca, you sent a message in our WhatsApp and you said it wouldn't surprise me if we finished top 4 or bottom 4. I'm sort of in that. Like, nothing will really surprise me. I don't think we're going to be in the middle. It'll just be like we'll go bang again or we'll just completely fall off. But good to see some buy-in from, like, obviously Viney and Max signing on, which can only be good for morale. I know that culture's brought up a lot with us at the moment. And yeah, hopefully Track can maybe come out and say something soon.
That's almost been the theme of the year, right from the get-go, culture. And I feel like after watching that clip with Viney, we were kind of like a bit of head in the sand and, new year, here we go. But we really didn't. I definitely didn't. I don't know if I can speak for you guys, but really appreciate what we lost in Gus and obviously what had happened in the off-season and just kind of thinking that it was going to click just because, we were such a successful team up until that point in terms of wins-loss and making top 4. But yeah, it brought home the fact that pre-seasons are just, that's like where flags are won and lost almost.
Big time.
If you're on the back foot in any way, you're just playing catch up. And to the players that were on the back foot, one of them obviously retired in Gus, and then Clary, who was arguably our best player in a lot of ways, and then Petty as well, who we pinned our hopes to be this, next key post pillar for us up forward. Like, it was never going to work, really. When you look with hindsight, you kind of look back and you're like, yeah, why did we think we'll kind of any chance to kind of come into the season being,
well, you're behind the
contenders.
You're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Oh, totally behind the 8 ball. As soon as the Gus news,
Gus into Clary.
Yeah, Gus into Clary, into Petty being injured during pre-season as well. The other one that doesn't get spoken about is Michael Hibberd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't really buy into the commentators would always touch on Harms and Jordan, but Jordan, all the best to you, mate. Like, he's obviously playing a good role for Sydney.
You're a tagger.
But, maybe that decision was made before the Gus news. So if we had known that Gus wasn't going to be able to play on that list, I feel like Jordan would probably still be with us and playing some kind of role. But he didn't set the world on fire for us in any way, I didn't think. But yeah, Hibbo, absolutely. Just that kind of grunt, mongrel, off the half back for sure. You don't really have any of that down the back. You have May, but yeah, Hibberd's a good call.
Hibberd's a good call, and we probably haven't spoken about him at all this season. Just Viney there getting emotional about Gus. So Jack Viney, arguably the toughest player in the comp. Definitely one of
them, yeah.
A top 5, probably toughest, most fearless players in the comp.
Name some others. Butters.
Yeah, he'd be up there.
He's definitely up
Callum Ward.
He even fucked his shoulder on the weekend and just
He's a
ended up
psycho.
getting 35
He's a
and a couple of
psycho.
goals. Yeah.
Just I'm thinking about the impact emotionally on the playing group. We know Gus was heart and soul, but for Jack Viney to say that he hadn't cried like that in a long time, and there's stereotypes around men, and men shouldn't cry. It's very traditional and old school, but
It's in the past.
he just doesn't strike me as a bloke that would probably do that, though, which sounds stupid because
Do
of what
that
I've just said.
or talk about it or a bit of both maybe.
Maybe a bit of both, but for him to open up and be vulnerable like that and talk about Gus the way he did, I think that speaks volumes about the actual impact it had on the group. I was trying to do this the other day when I was talking to someone about the loss of Angus Brayshaw, and it was a curious mate who supports Richmond. He's like, what's gone wrong? And I reel off all the things that we already know.
How long you got? Sit down.
A lot of things have gone wrong. But the Angus Brayshaw one it didn't shock him or surprise him. He'd just forgotten. He was like, oh yeah, he retired. No shit, I forgot about that. He was your Mr. Fix-It. And I tried to find other players in the competition that are similar to Gus. One that strikes me is a Steele side bottom at Collingwood. If you lost a Steele side bottom on the eve of their 2023 season, and he was outrageous last year in the final series and that 60-metre bomb that he kicked against Brisbane in the granny. That's where I got to, because I thought, well respected, can go behind the ball and do a job at halfback if he needs to.
Mills is a bit like that. He can play
Yeah, maybe.
in a lot of
Well, isn't
different
that the reason
positions.
we're going
and-
after Houston as well?
Potentially.
He can pretty much fill that Gus hole in a way.
But who else is like a Gus Voigt around the league? If you take that player out, you're just so much worse off as a squad, as a team,
Well,
as
it looks
a
like
culture.
Weddle can play anywhere.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a freak.
Just thinking about heart and soul players and what that does to you, and taking him out clearly had a far greater impact than we could ever probably perceive as supporters outside looking in. And then that clip
He was
just
just starting
reinforces
to
it.
like go straight midfield though as well
Yeah,
though
I
towards
know.
the end of
He
last
was-
season, and it was like
he was so
here
good.
we go, like we've covered those other holes. You know, we brought in Windsor.
2018 Gus.
Yeah, well, like we can kind of
Mm.
you know just put him in the guts.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have been so handy when Track got injured this year too.
Oh,
The butterfly
never
effect
thought of
though.
that.
Track wouldn't have got injured. He would have kicked like 50 goals or something.
Yeah.
just on Nibbler, he spoke about Nibbler really well as well, Jack, and everyone's said some nice things to say about him. Family first, I get it. It makes sense. Always family first. Some people still knocking him about leaving. Very small portion,
Yeah.
minuscule portion of people out there still knocking
There's
him
no
about.
part of me that's
Really?
bitter
I didn't
about
think anyone was.
him making that call.
There's
or-
a few people.
We
people.
don't even know. Like we've heard it's family reasons, so it's like I feel like you can't really.
Well, it's he's just had a kid, right? And his family's based in Adelaide. And I mean, I've never had a kid, but I've got 4 older siblings that all have kids, and the work that my parents do, and you know, just to have that extra support is just, you know, you can't put a money value on that.
100%. So, anyway, we move past that. You can't knock him for leaving for those reasons. But it's another player when we talk about culture. It's another one down. So Gus, medically retired because of a coward, and then we're losing another incredibly important cog from a cultural perspective. Not only cultural, but just like the standards that he sets. So I said it on the podcast last week. There's a few people that get down to the press conferences and get to know the players and whatnot. And I speak to one quite often. And he said that Nibbler is one of the very few blokes, because they're AFL footballers. They're in high demand. People want to talk to them all the time. He's one of the very few that will actually go out of his way to talk to you and have a chat to you, because he's been down there for God knows how long, 5, 6, 7 years, attending all these press conferences as a journalist. And he can't speak highly enough of him. The way he conducts himself, the way he speaks to the younger blokes, his leadership out there, that's going to be a massive, massive hole to fill. Which begs a question, and
Who
people
feels it?
well, people are talking about it. What if you went and got a Luke Parker, or someone of that ilk for 2 years that can come in and do a role? And I'm not saying it's just Luke Parker, and I don't know who else is out there, but maybe we need to also look at replacing that. Second ruck option is pivotal. Maybe we need to go get a key forward, which gets spoken about all the time. But maybe
There's a few players.
maybe
already.
we need to also look at, like, can we go and get a top up player in the same way that we did with Daniel Cross, I think, and Bernie Vince. I don't think those two players, well, Daniel Cross in particular, doesn't get spoken about enough. He came in, apparently he
Completely changed.
He
the
recalibrated the whole
attitude
joint.
of behaviour and training and
Correct.
standards.
Because
yeah.
he stayed on as a coach or something.
Yeah.
didn't he, as
He
well?
did.
And
So-
then did the running
And I know we've got heaps of leaders there, and we've got players like
we
Jake
do- we do-
Weaver
we-
and Stephen
yeah,
May
we
and Max.
we got
and-
top end, or you know,
Yeah.
statesmen.
But do
who
we
are
need
leaders.
another one?
Oh well, no, it's like for me, I look at our list and I'm really happy with the people that are coming through in Windsor and Roo and Colt. Disco obviously was starting to show signs, but that kind of like 22 to 26, 22 to 27.
Yeah.
It's like there's a bit of a gap there. I feel like there's just not enough, if it's either leadership or just like really strong talent. I'm trying to think of anyone who's in that in that field. Is Clary still in? How old's Clary?
Yeah, Clary's 26, isn't
Is he only 26 still?
I think he's
he?
27.
27 or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Okay. He's pretty good. But, you know, I really just...
It's almost like a Sparrow you would have
Well,
expected
I was
to,
just
kick
about
on,
to say,
but-
we've been kind of like pinning Sparrow as being this like leader. I remember started this year or last year, you were like, yeah, next captain kind of thing. But like,
Ugh.
He just hasn't kicked on.
well, it's just kind of like flatlined a bit.
Big time.
Like in terms of he's hit this kind of level and then it's just kind of been a bit stagnant, which is still playing regular games at AFL level and playing somewhat of a role. And, you know, that's something to be proud of. But like,
He's season 6 though.
exactly. Mate,
Track was season 5 and he got his first All-Australian.
And I reckon he's the one that should be like banging the door down at being that kind of next tier of grabbing a hold of this team as well and leading by example. I can't really remember any game in which he's done that. And yeah, probably sounds a bit harsh by me sitting here and saying that about Sparrow, but I'm just using him as an example because I'm not sure if we have any players in that kind of like age bracket who are kind of coming through in that way.
Which is probably why we're...
McVee, how old's McVee?
No, he's young. He's like
Yeah.
21.
2021.
That's so sick.
Yeah, he's going to be so good. He already is.
Yeah.
Um,
Get him in the guts.
yeah, I reckon he will next year. But
Yeah. Him and Rivers just like, let's go. You know, you can cover people in the back line, can't you?
Yeah.
He was in the guts. Well, he attended, I think it was 15 or 16 centre bounces last week.
And he's such a clean
They'll do
good
it again.
user as well. Like, he's perfect to have in the guts.
I still think he needs more muscle.
Yeah, he's not big. Yeah, but he's like a child.
No, I know, but I think it's a big pre-season for him to put on more size, and then you can get him into the midfield next year. It's weird that they put him in the midfield against the Suns last week, and he had his lowest possession count in a long time. He actually struggled to find it a bit. I still think...
I wish they had played him 4 weeks earlier in there and just, you know, let's just
Yeah.
get games into you in
Yeah.
the guts. Like,
'Cause he
this
wouldn't
is
be
a
used to it.
great
It's completely
opportunity.
different. Yeah.
Because apparently, I don't know shit, but apparently he was, you know, speaking to coaches and being like, you know, I played midfield when I was younger. I want to play midfield. So I don't know. I just felt like it was such a good opportunity to be like, here's 6 games. Let's go. Let's see what you got. Because, you know, for me, the season was done.
Yeah.
After that Brisbane game, that was like the complete nail in the coffin. Like, that was the last nail for me, anyway.
I'm going to talk about that later, actually. Jack Viney and Max Gawn re-signing. Do you think that's a coincidence with what's happening with track?
I think maybe Max's was timed well by the club. Like, I think he was
Like a
always gonna-
pick-me-up.
A pick-me-up. But I think Viney was genuinely, like, in discussions for a while. I don't know. Possibly.
There's no part of me that thought,
Viney was leaving.
no,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Yeah. I don't know. And then, like, Max, 3 more years. Like, obviously, he's still a gun. He's going to be All-Australian again, you'd think, this year. But you sort of think, would he get 3 years if we had a up-and-coming ruckman?
Well,
Like, it's almost like we're saying, fuck, we've got nothing else.
well, yeah,
It's true.
he deserves.
Because if
he
we had something
deserves
coming through,
any
we just be
amount
like,
of.
we'll put him on 1-year contracts. And if he keeps performing, then you can...
I also like he's someone that like you just
give him what he wants.
whatever he
Yeah,
wants.
yeah. And
he deserves anything that he gets in terms of contract and like he's. I wouldn't feel right if it was just like we're just going to give you year contracts because that bloke, what he has done for this club, it's like give him 3 years, even if we only get 1 more out of him and he hasn't like. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
you just give it to him. Like, and he deserves that.
Not only that, I think there's something in it with Jeff White's son. Because by the time Max...
He's bloody young, though, to
Max,
come through.
But Max gets to...
How many ruckmen come through and have an immediate impact?
No, I'm just saying, Max gets to 36 in that last year. And he's going to at least get a couple of years with
36.
Kalani.
There's not many
if he chooses
ruckmen
the
that get
Ds.
to 36.
He will. I think he will choose the Ds. And he'll get a couple of years with Max.
If he doesn't choose the Ds.
If he doesn't choose the days.
But getting if he does, getting a couple of years with Max, unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Perfect.
For sure.
Well, who have we got at the moment? Who's our backup? Verrill.
Verrill and Farris White, who is very unknown.
Like it says,
Isn't
it says
Fullerton meant to be like?
yeah,
and Fullerton.
It says a bit that like when Max gets injured, we don't need
Did
to
any
play
of
our
them?
backups.
None of them played one
No,
game this year.
T-Mac went in the ruck. That
Petty
shows
was
what
playing
the club
ruck.
must think about our
Petty
ruck
was
side.
bad in the ruck.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, but
couldn't-
but how crazy is that? That Petty was clearly just unfit and kind
Those
of like
guys must
trying
be
to
so shit.
exactly.
and Goodwin actually came out. I thought it was pretty brutal.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
pretty much said that to Fullerton. He was like,
and the press was like, so why aren't you playing Tom Fullerton? He goes, well, he's not winning the tap contest in the VFL, so why would I play in the AFL?
so we'll use Petty.
Yeah, which kind of as soon as I heard that, I was like, I'll
Yeah.
never ask for Fullerton again, because I was for
Gee, it
a
could've
moment
been
in
dark,
time, I
you
was
reckon?
like, playing, give him a go,
Yeah,
but
sure.
he clearly is just not at the level.
Not
Yeah.
at the level at all. But that's another thing we've got to
And like,
figure
how
out.
annoying is it that we have to play Rue in the ruck?
I know.
Like, you just want to play him in
Yeah.
the forward
Look-
half.
look what
and
happened.
that's it. That's
Look what
it.
happened when we played Rue predominantly forward. No, not predominantly forward. The whole game forward.
Oh,
I think every time we played him forward this year, for effectively the whole game, he kicked 3 or 4. He kicked 4-4 against West Coast when he just played forward.
yeah.
He should have kicked. He missed some sitters that day. He should have kicked 6 or 7. And I know it's West Coast, but
Well,
he's
they've
gonna
still
be a
got
star.
people like Barras and McGovern.
McGovern. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That's a good
So
point.
He's going to be very good, and I actually found
Yep.
it quite interesting that interview with Max Gawn after he re-signed. He named Rue only with a couple of other players as a future leader. of
Who were the
club.
other ones? Riv?
Rivers was one of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other. I have to go back and watch it. But I remember him saying Rue. So he must be a pretty good person as well, and he's going to be a gun.
yeah.
I've seen enough this year, so I've got a few. I've got a few
absolutely.
opposition mates that like to hang shit on him. I don't know why.
Like it's-
He's only 21 as well, isn't he?
Yep, and do you know what, Marca? If he'd played up forward and didn't have to do the second ruck duties, he would have kicked easily 40 plus.
And that's why I also feel for Petty in a way, because like he was a backman, right? A gun backman. Kind of made to play this forward role, which he's showing glimpses.
Because we didn't have anything.
Very, very minor glimpses. And now it's like, oh, you got to play in the ruck again. It's like,
Yeah.
you just got to settle him.
Yeah. Put him. Yeah, he's just got to go back to defence. I
But,
reckon.
if it comes to next year and, like,
well,
ruckmen
Disco's
don't just
looking
grow on
alright.
trees, but I feel like the combination of Rue and a fit Petty kind of giving chop outs can work. It can work, but it's not my preference. But man, it's not easy to find a second ruckman that can come in and not only do their role in the ruck, but you need them to be able to provide something up forward as well, because
I heard
they're not playing only minutes in the ruck.
Yeah, I heard we may have been looking at Nick Bryan, but I feel like Nick Bryan.
As Adzy and I look at each other and go, oh,
Bring him in.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He started playing at the back end of this year.
Oh, fresh.
He'd been smashing it at VFL level,
Oh, awesome.
like
least Fullerton.
Jake
Yeah.
Kennedy Harris
Full
used
and
to.
stiff.
But yeah, we might be looking at it. He'd actually be a good second ruck
We do
option.
need to get something. Unless that. I don't know enough about Will Verrill. Like, because he's young, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
His
so
name's
maybe
mental, by the way.
he'll get better to at least be good at VFL.
would
I
he
don't
be
know.
really annoyed about his name?
Probably.
He'd have to be, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
How many times would people have a laugh about it? It's like the actor from. He'd be like, "Yeah, cool." Ben Brown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
They better
your
play him,
service.
by the way.
Nah, we're not.
Nah,
They're not going
Check
to play him.
teams.
See you, mate.
His knees down, mate.
What? He kicked 6 as well.
Nah, that was his last hurrah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I really wanted to give you a send off.
Well, you can at half time tomorrow. You'll be in the bar.
Yeah.
No, but like going back to
You won't be there.
21, he in that
Awesome.
final series and just
Awesome.
he was a big part in what we did
3 in the
that
grand
year.
as well.
Yeah, just clinical.
And like a very important like mark and goal as well.
At
Yeah.
the start of the
It
fourth.
started the
Yeah.
fourth.
It killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It killed it.
yeah.
It was beautiful. Sparrow kicked that
Like,
to him, I think.
Great pickup. Great pickup from us. That's
Yeah.
He did exactly
We paid
what we brought him
we
in.
paid peanuts for him.
for. Yeah.
Helped us win a flag. Job done. And
Yeah.
we hung shit on him. After that, but it's just like it's unfortunate that his body just couldn't really hold up as much as he'd like, because he could have, if it did, then we're not going to go into what ifs.
Are we still looking at Waterman? Wasn't that a rumor?
Don't know. Probably
Wiedemann?
not.
Waterman, bring him back.
Whoa.
Join Shack Attack. Surely he's fucked up delisted at the end of this year.
Who?
Shacky.
Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Diesel.
This is his second year of
Who else is getting
how many years
delisted?
was on his?
Hopefully lucky.
Can we go through a bit of a D list?
Oh, we're doing it already. Yeah, we can if we
Well, I
want.
mean, it's the last game. I mean, surely Diesel's gone. Fullerton is gone.
Do you? Is there anything you want to say about Big Benny Brown though?
I just said it
Anything
was a
else?
great pickup.
Is that it?
Yeah, thanks for winning the flag.
I thought Ben Brown was such a good pickup.
Yeah,
Great
that's what I said.
bloke. Done heaps for the club behind the scenes. Involved in the AFLW program.
Seems like a very nice person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Pure soul.
Absolute pure soul. I reckon it was just a really clever call in the end. Do you want to go through and delist?
Well, I was just thinking because I'm like,
Lockie?
we got to free up some. Oh, yeah.
Yes, see ya.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're
Like
already
so-so.
losing. We're already
You know
losing
I've been on that for a while.
Neal-Bullen's already gone.
Tomo will leave.
Jack could be gone.
Tomo will want to seek opportunity elsewhere.
Tomo,
and-
that's okay.
Let's fucking see ya.
Yeah, see ya.
Jack Billings?
I mean,
Nah,
No, aren't we getting behind him? Can you explain that to the listeners? Nugget
Nuggets
and
was at
TC
the
getting
game.
behind him.
Yeah, they thought he was playing pretty well.
He did.
They were yelling out, sign him up. So
but he got a 2-year deal with us.
sign on.
Sign him up.
Yeah.
He won't go anywhere. I think Tomo will leave for opportunities, as you've said. I'm trying to. Will Bailey Laurie continue to
I think
stay on the list?
he'll get another year.
He's still
yeah.
still that age where something could happen.
Let's have a look at the contracts. That's probably the best thing.
Not.
No. He'll
Yeah,
be
it's
there.
good.
I don't know
Decent
if this.
case he had.
Well, Shane McAdam obviously didn't work out.
Can't-
Oh, he's gone.
No,
Who?
McAdam.
depends on his contract.
No, they would have given him more. He's definitely got another year because it was
Do you
his
reckon?
first year. God, that's a
Fuck,
play
he
that
was
I
bad.
completely forgot
He
about.
was shocking.
Yeah,
In fairness
provided-
to him, he wasn't fit.
Yeah, well, get fit, mate.
Yeah.
Sign-
Sorry, he wasn't fit. He was still getting 25 touches.
Signed up until the end of 2026.
McAdam.
Non-free agent is his out-of-contract AFL player status at the moment.
2026.
Yeah, so it says 2026. So there's a weird small part of me that thinks if he can have a healthy preseason. Remember when you bigged him up before he played his first game? You were really pumped.
Yeah.
I was.
I think I was
And
too.
then I realised he
But
couldn't
mate,
kick
like
over 15 metres.
for what he produced at Adelaide, like he was.
Yeah, he's good from the square.
Yeah, moments.
Yeah.
But like, he could have been the cherry on top of what could have been a pretty decent year.
Yeah.
But it just like
There's still a weird part of me that thinks he might.
I
Hopefully.
still think
Well, that's
that as
what
well.
we-
But
Oh.
like,
Genuinely-
Shaky's gone. His contract ends this year.
I'll say
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Diesel. You're done. Oh, Hunter. Contract ends this season.
yeah, say ya.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
See
do
you
you reckon
later.
they will get rid of him?
Oh, surely,
Marty
now
Hall,
with Windsor, it makes it.
Marty Hall.
he'll stay. I'd keep him
Yeah.
on for
Yeah,
another
I'd keep
year.
him.
Yeah,
I'll
I,
keep
I
him.
think it would be pretty nuts if they just got rid of him after that.
Fullerton's got another year after this one.
Christ.
Mm.
Will Verrill's developing, so I think they'll sign him on again.
Yeah.
For sure.
He hasn't played a game, has he?
No, and he's our only backup ruck.
Sick.
Well, we
Andy
got
Moners
forwards.
Wakefield will obviously sign on
Yeah,
because he's been terrific.
positive.
Yeah, he showed glimpses.
Yeah.
for sure.
I was really happy with him. He was fine.
So like, let's have a think about. Oh,
Stafford,
there's so much. Oh,
be nice.
I can't.
You
Be-
don't need to be nice. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for
Flag?
Long service at the
Yeah.
club. Long service at the club, and
Lovely
I
fella.
know some people who know him, and he's meant to be an absolute king, and I'm sure he
Lovely
is.
fella.
But
Be nice.
it had to be the decision, right? We have to have, a lot of people are calling for Goody's head, which I don't agree with at the moment. I think we have to give Goody another year, at least one more. But we have to refresh those around him.
Yeah.
And there's some people that are available that I would love to, have a look at. But staff, thank you for your services. Obviously, was a key part in that flag as well. But see, mate.
Yeah. Let's get a forward as a forwards coach.
Yeah,
now.
let's get a forward
Go
as a
after,
forward
like-
coach
who could
instead
we
of
go
a
after?
ruckman who was
Jack Rewalt.
okay. Ruckman.
Jack Revolt.
No, he's probably got his eyes set on Tassie, and
Yeah.
I'd
True.
I wouldn't mind getting like
and he's probably getting paid too well at Fox Footy to like care about.
just a really successful head into the club, like a Selwood or a Sean Burgoyne or
Well,
something. like that.
Bartel's available now.
Bartel, like those guys that know they'd never bottomed out and they just topped up properly and always believed that they would be good enough again.
Just like a player who would walk into the club and everyone would just look at them and be like, he
Yeah.
was a freak.
If Jimmy Bartel's walking in, yeah,
yeah,
getting
you're pulling
stage
up your socks
Yeah.
and you're going, I want to impress this guy because he was an absolute star and I
Yeah.
will listen to everything he says.
yeah,
And I like him in the media, and by all reports, he's such a clever football person. And he was such a clever
has he
footballer
coached
you know.
before though, or is he just putting his hand? up?
Yeah, wasn't he at Giants? What he was?
Was it him at Giants?
He's just left somewhere, which means he's available.
So what, you reckon a Jimmy Bartel midfield coach?
Well,
McQualter's looking at WA.
I would even just
apparently.
bring one of them in for like
Oh mate, see
development.
him McWalter.
Well, the only thing I'll say about McQualter
That was
is
like a little like
our
last.
clearance work has been horrific.
Well, that was a last
Can we
like.
get Adam Simpson?
Surely that was like a last second kind of like, oh, we need someone to fill Uze. Oh, this makes sense because McWalter's leaving Richmond. We'll look at him. It was kind of like a mad rush kind of thing. And so it wasn't something we could really plan for.
Do you think he'd be wanting to leave though?
McWalter?
Yeah.
No idea.
Who cares? I would genuinely, he probably doesn't. He probably wants to have a bit of a break. But I reckon Adam Simpson would be amazing as
Oh my
like an
God.
assistant if he wanted to do that sort of thing. And he's from Melbourne.
Be the perfect assistant.
Doesn't he have kids who are at school over there as well, though? Or...
Probably.
Probably.
They can come to school here.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, they've
Yeah,
developed,
move
they've
schools.
developed friendships with their
You'll make friends over here.
with their mates for many years, but that's okay. Should we talk about Collingwood?
Okay.
The silence said everything.
What's there to talk about?
Well,
We're just going to lose, aren't we?
oh,
yeah.
don't do that. Don't do that.
I just like. I mean,
They've rung the
you were the one that
changes,
was
Collingwood.
reeling off the stats to me before this about our.
They beat Brisbane last week. They
we
would be
did
riding
also
high.
pump Gold Coast and Gold Coast, which
Yeah.
is a bit strange.
They were
Brisbane are the only-
Gold Coast were putrid, man.
Terrible. I
Yeah.
think they got all too excited about their first win on the road.
They were just so crap.
They were terrible. We absolutely staunched them. That was our highest score for the year, by the way, which is wild. Shows you how good we are when the pressure's off. Simon Goodwin against the Pies. Do you want to hear the record?
How many have we played?
12,
2 and 10.
3 and 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds right.
Excluding 2020 COVID season, when we beat them by 56 points at the Gabba, we've beaten them twice at the G by a total of 8 points. 4 points on each occasion. And the
Yeah.
two that we
That's
won,
why we lose.
the two that we beat them were the win on King's birthday last year, where we were 4 goals up and they kicked those 3 quick goals at the end and nearly beat us at the very end. We staunched them. I think we kicked 8-18 that day, which is very Melbourne. And then the other time we beat them was the Watts game, which would have been Goody's
That was great.
first clash against Collingwood.
Yeah, that was
I
really
believe.
good.
Other than that, we've actually ended up losing to them 9 times by an average of 23 points.
One was at the SCG
There you go.
in our grand final year.
They have
The wood over
owned
us.
us.
But they don't just
Yeah.
beat us; they like bully us. Like the last game
It's
we
fucking
played against
pathetic.
them, Maynard was just running through people.
That game killed me.
Yeah, same here. And then the best
Because
player,
Harvey Harvison, what were these names that were like
and
booting
kicking
goals?
from everywhere.
Kruger
It
was-
Kruger. Kruger kicking them on the run, like check
Oh.
sides from the boundary. What's going on?
After that game, I was like, oh, this.
And then our best players put into ICU,
It was.
and
it
now
was-
hates the club because of it, and wants to go to them.
Yeah, the Pies. have just made an absolute meal of it.
Ended Gus's career. Yeah, they love him.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate them. I just wanted to ask you on that. We'll get back to the Pies. Season 2024. What's the most deflating loss for you, and what's the angriest loss? And then we can end it on a high and talk about your favourite win.
It's probably the Pies for me.
So is that your angriest or your most deflated?
Both.
There's a difference.
But you can still
Definitely
feel
not
that.
angriest.
I mean, maybe it's the kind of like angriest Collingwood, deflatest Brisbane, because it was like
Exactly. That's exactly mine.
It was the last.
mine.
It was the last kind of like
Yours the same?
breath
Well,
out and just
angriest-
like,
Yeah.
like, okay, done, dead.
Yeah.
Are yours the
deflated-
same?
Yeah, the same. And
Especially
I know
because during that, sorry to cut you off, but during that Brisbane game, like, I was so up and about. I
Oh
was
my
so
God.
happy with how we were playing. It was like,
Yeah.
it
All the
got me
effort was
back.
back.
It drew me back in
Believing.
a big way. I was at home by myself, running around the house,
Same.
just going nuts.
Yeah.
And then just at the end of it, kind of, I could see it coming. Someone from another group was just like, look at this bet I put on Melbourne to win. I told you that'd win. And I was like, the game's not over. Shut the fuck up. And then just, you could see the writing on the wall. It was coming. And then Nibbler decided to, do a little try over the line.
Yeah.
And then boom. That was.
I blame
that was
Petty
the-
and Langdon for that one.
Well, you can flip it and say they gassed like
So
4
many.
or 5 of the easiest opportunities just to kind of
Close it out.
yeah,
That loss was...
and then went down the other end, and then Langdon missed.
That was my most deflating loss. I was in the lounge room, lying down on the floor, arms outstretched on my back for about 20 minutes, just staring at the ceiling. I was beside myself because I believed halfway through that second quarter, when we were just piling them on, and then we're in the third quarter and it looked like we were about to close the gate, I started thinking, we've woken up. Our season is not only alive, but I reckon we can do something.
Yeah, it would have been a huge one.
And then to lose that, and not only to lose that, it actually gave them new life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the way we lost it as well.
It fucking killed me, that loss.
Yeah.
Definitely angry. So I was out for a family dinner and left without saying goodbye to anyone. So
Is that your angriest or most deflated?
angriest. Deflated, I think, was the Pies.
Not Eagles? That was bad.
Well, the Eagles
I
was kind
kind
of a
of-
strange one because I was almost back in Harley Reid. So, not really. Like, the Eagles didn't... Because I knew that the Eagles, they're not playing finals or anything. Like, it was frustrating.
Yeah.
But they just flicked it, and I kind of like a few of their players anyway. Whereas, like, the Pies was... I think we've talked about it a bit as well. Like, when Track got injured, we sort of just... Deep down, you knew that was pretty much the season, I reckon. So...
yeah.
I gained hope after the Essendon game, which is so dumb
Yeah, that's so dumb.
in hindsight. But you could also mount the case that I'm allowed to gain hope from that because we lose to Giants and Port by 2 points. And if we'd won both of them, we're sitting in the 8 right
But
now.
still, it's like,
Well,
okay,
that's
okay.
the fine margins.
Yeah, for sure. Still, okay, you sit in the 8, but then you come up against some other clubs at the moment who we just don't have the top end talent, even if we were in the 8 to do the damage that you need to do to go deep.
We probably
we
wouldn't
weren't
have
gonna
won a
make-
final.
No.
No.
And
Would've
then
been-
are we in a
would've
worse
been-
position
especially
because we've made it and then we've lost another one, 5 in a row?
Well, it's like now we're in a position where we have the opportunity to get a pretty decent pick. I don't know what we're going to do with it. That's it.
Well,
Mate,
apparently
this-
we're giving
this-
it to Houston.
Well, who knows if he even still wants to come to the D's?
Yeah.
But it's actually this off season.
It's huge.
It's crazy how important it is for the next few years. It could either like really set us up, or it could go in a way of Richmond where they try and bring in these like kind of top end talent, and then it just goes real sour. I don't know what it looks like.
I think we're fork in the road. I genuinely
Next year's huge.
I genuinely believe we're fork in the road. One path is you're back, you're contending. The other path is what you were saying in the thread.
Yeah.
We're just kind of not really at it. We're 12th to 18th. Well, not 18th, but 12th to 15th.
For me, the biggest what if is, what if Clary comes back and is
he's
the player that we all know that he is.
And sees potentially doing an off-season camp.
Yeah, well, that's and hearing that is like, well, that's absolutely what he needs to be doing. And like, if he comes back and is that player, track buys in, has a bit of time off, it's like already it's a completely different team with a Clary back at full strength. Petty, I am bullish on him, and I've been so harsh on him this year, and like to the point where I was almost hating him. No, I hated him. But if he has a full preseason, I honestly reckon he can become a really, really important cog for us. Maybe not as the kind of like goal kicking prowess, but some of those marks he takes,
He's had a good month.
you're like, holy shit! Like,
He's had a much better month.
that
Since he signed.
Geelong game, you were just like, whoa! Like you were just
Yeah.
dominated in the air, and it's just something that we just haven't had from a key forward. Feels like ever.
Yeah.
Brown wasn't that kind of forward,
it
and
will
T-Mac he had his
Stick with
moments,
Roo
but
eventually. Like he gets his hands to it, but drops a lot of them. Whereas I think Petty's hands are a lot safer at the moment.
yeah. So yeah, I'm really bullish, and like for me, yeah, it's Clary, it's Petty, and then what talent are you going to bring in? What coaches are you going to bring in? It's like there's so many what ifs.
Fork in the road for you. Has to be.
Yeah. But as I said at the start, like I'm still hopeful. Like I still think that like we have some amazing players, and as Marcus said, like if Clary can get himself back to what he was, and he knows
Loving Colton at the end of this year as well. I feel like he can become an important player. Caleb will obviously just
and he's a
keep doing
big
Caleb
size
stuff.
as well. He'll be good, but Clary, like he knows what it takes to get to that level because he's been there. So there are lots of players like a Sparrow who's never actually got there. So that's something that I take confidence in. He knows what he needs to do, and he'd have the belief that he can do it. So if he just puts his head down and has a uninterrupted preseason, he can probably get back to that. And then that changes so much.
What do we do with Cozzy?
You just got to keep playing him forward.
I'm sorry. I'm just like
50, 60, 40 forward.
He's just
I'm
so
70.
good in the forward.
I'm 70, 30, 70 in the forward.
Well, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Clutching at straws.
That's what I meant.
But
Yeah,
I'm
Or
with you.
even 80, man. Like if honestly,
I just want him
if
forward
I
most
had
of the time
if I
if you
had
can.
my way, I would have 90 and 10.
Yeah, I agree.
And just like, obviously the midfield this year has like copped with Brayshaw going out and some other movement going and Petrarca or whatever. It's maybe been a case of we kind of have to put you in a bit more. But if we can bring in some people, or if it's McVie and Rivers full time, I just want to see him. I just want to see him in the 450.
Yeah, you want him forward, taking hangers, kicking goals.
I think people have clutched at straws because some people are saying he's so good at clearance, centre clearance, but
But he also
just get a better midfield coach. If McQualter wants to leave and we get an out-and-out former gun that comes in as our midfield coach, just sort it out with the normal personnel. It doesn't have to necessarily be Cozzy. I like Cozzy going in there for spurts.
Yeah, but he's special at the clearance stuff, but he also bleeds a bit in there.
His field kicking's not the greatest.
No, it's for me. It's more like he can get caught out, and I don't know if it's positioning or what, but like can kind of like
do too much.
In that forward center bounce, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. But when it's around the ground, I just don't see it as much as like I think you just need to be a bigger body midfielder to have more of an impact.
Yeah, he gets
than
pushed
what
off pretty easily.
yeah than what he does, and kind of I just don't think he has that same effect when there's that many people around him. But he needs that space. Center bounce clearance, awesome, love it, and that's for me. That's when I do see his best work when he is in the midfield, which is how many times does that happen in a game? 15 to 20.
Yeah, maybe
25 if you're lucky. But when it's on the boundary line and it's a tight game and there's 15 people around the ball, he's not the one that's winning clearance. And they're the really pivotal clearances to win in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think Goody possibly. I mean, as we say, I don't know anything, but
We know shit.
I think Cozzy can as we know, when he is just forward, can go missing a little bit. Like he can have really quiet games. So I think
It's a
they
bloody
use that
hard
as, like,
position
let's
to
get him
play.
around
Yeah.
the ball. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
get him
yeah.
involved
Yeah.
a little bit, which
True.
is probably why they push him up as well. So, but I'm with you. Like if our midfield's flowing well, Clary comes back, he's good. Track is back, and they're all confident. And it's all just working well. Hopefully, Judd can go into the midfield. Then he doesn't need to do that. If we're winning those clearances, he'll get enough delivery in.
And look, I don't expect him to like kick bags every game, but
He doesn't.
we
need
always
to.
compare
Yeah.
it to Cyril because it is such a they're so alike in the
Yeah,
way
they
that
are.
they're played, and just the fact that he's in there and that perceived pressure adds so much. And I don't care if he gets 7 touches a game, but if it's 5 tackles and it's 3 goal or 4 goal or 5, goal involvements or score involvements or whatever, like
But he pops up at the
that's
right time
sick
too.
and he can be that match winner. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I really want him in the midfield as much as maybe what he has this year. But
I think
maybe by watching the game, because you just recognise the big moments, maybe I don't truly understand his impact in the midfield as well. Is another thing.
he's big potential of, I think, fully breaking out next year. I think he's probably there,
I like the second half of his year this
Yep.
year,
but I'm
or
feeling
the last third or whatever. I felt like it was a
Yep.
much more kind of professional, consistent.
I'm feeling all Australian areas for him next year.
Cozzy.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think we see glimpses. He's obviously a little bit inconsistent from week to week. Like the last 2 weeks are the perfect example. He had 21 and kicked 4 against Port, and then he had 4 disposals last week.
Yeah.
So bridging that gap for him is probably his greatest challenge. But that's pretty typical of a lot of small forwards, to be honest.
It's in a lot of ways the hardest position on the ground to play.
Yeah. And that's what Marco was saying. He doesn't need, obviously 21 and 4 is outrageous, but
Yeah, that's-
he doesn't need to have that many possessions to have a massive impact.
No.
He can pop up, even if he doesn't touch it for 3 quarters and the game's in the balance, he can pop up and kick 3 in the last quarter.
Absolutely.
He's a player that you never, honestly, Goody would just never even consider dropping even when he has shit games, because he can pop up whenever you least expect it, sort of thing. So,
Speaking of fork in the road, Christian Salem, my boy.
yeah.
Good 2 weeks.
Yeah, but just like, where does he play next year?
Well, he's not going to
where's
move
he
into
out?
the
It's
midfield or
just-
anything. He's
Can I
always-
bundle him in with another bloke, but we'll talk about Christian?
go
There's
for it.
2
Go
on my
for it.
watch list.
Bowie?
No, it's Stephen
Well, Stephen
for
me is just body.
Yep.
Right. Like and
He was playing with broken ribs and stuff.
yeah, for sure. But still, it's like he's
And
still
stuff.
I think he has a few other things. Yeah, didn't he? break
kind of
his
seems
back
like
as
he's
well?
always kind of got something going on. But
Yeah.
I worry about May. But like, it's not like it's a form thing. It's just a body.
The only
He's also
reason.
not young.
No,
That's the other thing. It's like it could
He's
be
31.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
in a way that like he comes out and maybe loses a kilo or two and like gets real streamlined, has this amazing year where it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, May's back, or we just really see a rapid decline in Stephen
but
May.
you
Like
can't it's easy to get worried about May, but then you remind yourself Harrison Petty,
Yeah.
perfect
then-
replacement,
Yeah.
perfect.
yeah,
I was sort of a bit shocked that we didn't go after Barras.
Well,
I just feel like he
if
he's
you'd spoken to the Hawks and watched the Hawks, it'd be a pretty easy decision.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess he'd be playing with Sicily.
they've probably already had that kind of.
I just
They've
feel
probably
like he
been in
perfect. Like
cahoots
throw
the whole
everything at
year
him.
about that decision or that kind of trade as well in a lot of ways.
Maybe.
But you're right. We are we're lucky we have Petty that can just go back, and that's where he will play his best footy. And
But
I
there were
think-
moments this year where that could have happened, but it didn't happen. It kind of seems in a lot of ways of like the Bevy, Norton, Goodwin, Petty thing where it's like, no, I'm holding my ground. He's
He's, like,
playing
stubborn
in
about
this
it.
position. He's playing forward. I'm not going to change that.
Disco, though?
Disco's been good.
Disco's,
I like
and he's coming through now. And Van
Yeah.
Ruin will be in his 4th year next year, but 3 of actually playing at the top level.
Yep.
that's generally when you can start to see some serious improvement in players. Like he's pretty big now as well. He'll be more confident. Like
He's
he
got a
might
bit of
we might
swagger
have
about
the
him.
forward sitting in our team already. He's just young, and he could be. Hopefully he can time it quick enough whilst we've still got the good cattle. But I think it's a huge season for Roo next year.
Massive. I think Roo and Cozzy, from a forward half perspective,
Roo,
are probably the two.
Cozzy, Fritter,
Yeah, Fritter needs to get on his bike.
Mick Adam.
You've thrown him in. Just on Disco, and then we'll talk about Salo. How many games has Disco played?
I'll say like 12.
15,
17.
Yeah.
That says everything, doesn't it?
and
Yeah.
he's had a couple of games where he's kicked like multiples, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, Richmond.
he kicked a 3 against Essendon, I think.
How many did he get against Gold Coast?
4.
4.
Should have kicked 6. He missed a couple.
Yeah, and he's a good size too. He's big,
Yeah.
big boy.
I'm really bullish
Is he bigger
on
than you?
same height.
Yeah. What's
Exact-
that, 6'4"?
194. Exact same height.
Same weight.
Fuck no. I think I'm 78 kilos, which is
Really?
yeah. 78 kilos. What,
What
are
do you
you?
reckon?
You're fucking skinny.
Pretty similar. So I think I'd 77.
What are you? You want to reveal?
91.
Oh, 91's fine. And
He
what
was a
are you?
power forward.
184? Oh, I was going to say 6. What are you?
What's 6 foot?
194. What are you?
No, it isn't.
6 foot's not 194.
Oh, I thought you said 6'4".
What,
Oh,
six-
God, no.
Oh.
No.
You're 6 foot. No,
Maybe-
6 foot's 182.
Oh,
193,
I'm
I reckon.
probably just over 6.
Yeah, you call yourself 6'1". What are you, Adzy?
187.
Yeah, the listeners will be loving this.
Yeah. Yeah, good. This is good chat.
Yeah.
The fucking worst chat ever. Salo.
My boy.
I actually, and I'm getting too excited.
I reckon he's done.
Last
Seriously.
last couple of weeks have been
I'm more
alright.
like that.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks have been alright.
Well,
He's been good.
yeah. He's been better than he has been the last 2 years, for sure. Obviously, there's been a lot of injuries because of that. But still, I still see a bit of a fork in the road for
Yeah.
him.
Huge
It'll be
preseason.
So
for him.
let's say Houston comes in.
Yep.
Is it straight to halfback? Where does he play? Or is
Yeah.
it
Halfback.
Halfback.
Riv will play more mid.
He's all Australian halfback.
Yeah.
isn't he?
Okay.
I think Riv is a mid.
Oh, Riv's mid.
Yeah.
Is he a
That's-
mid now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's mid.
That's so sick.
He's
Straight up
what
mid.
a great
He's
pick up.
fucking amazing.
Jason Taylor with our drafting has been amazing. Maybe the trades, he's done some good ones, but
Pick 32.
Rivers and Judd McVee,
Yeah,
amazing.
The
finds.
early, yeah, from the draft, we can't fault
which is
what
why I
we've
kind
done.
of want to use our pick 6 or pick 7 or
Maybe
whatever it is.
Jefferson? Question marks.
You don't know. He's got good craft, apparently. He just doesn't have the size.
He also just doesn't get given a game.
How's saying he's got
Like-
good craft?
Yeah.
It's like what we would have said about Wiedemann for 6 years.
Mm.
Riv Dog's 100th game this weekend as well.
100. Jeez, he's done that quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't have missed
So
too
he's
many.
going to play like 300 games.
I'll go and check how many he's played every season.
I feel like how old is he?
He's same age as Jackson. What's that? Picked up at 20
So must be
after
22,
2019 was his
23?
first year.
This is the biggest question with Christian Salem.
Where?
I'm going to bring
Where play?
I'm going to bring Bowie back into it. If Houston comes in,
Mm.
you can only play one of Bowie. We're back. We're back here.
Yeah.
You can only play one of Bowie and Salem.
Salem can
Well, what
go
if
through
what
the
if
midfield
McVee goes into the guts as well?
Nah, he won't.
What if
I reckon
Salem
it's
goes
too early.
Can Salem go in the guts?
Wasn't that the whole chat from last year? Salem was going to be in
He
the
did
middle?
go into the guts for a bit earlier
Exactly.
this
So
year.
why can't he come in and play a bit of a guttural role?
Well, you can sort of rotate through both, right? With your bench.
Oh, so hang on. So Bowie and Salem are in the same team again.
Mate, I don't know.
Bowie
I
hasn't
don't know,
been
mate. No,
Yeah,
I don't
Bowie
know what
sucks.
our team looks, but at the moment, Salem you'd have to say is ahead of Bowie
Yeah.
Really?
Judd McVee just really
in terms of output.
took over.
Salem's
Bowie.
output's been
Crap,
yeah.
but Bowie's been really crap. But also, he had
Salem's
broke his collarbone. Like that's a shocking injury to cop.
and
You missed
Salem the
8
same though. Like he's had
weeks.
probably since we flagged.
since flag.
He's just had injury interrupted pre-seasons and seasons.
Yeah,
So and like just weird injuries, like thyroid stuff where he can't train
True.
properly. So I don't know.
He's another one. You're actually spot on. He's another one we need to reserve our judgment on because he had quite a lengthy layoff this year and he just hasn't had a run at it. It's the same thing for Harrison Petty. So if he's fit, healthy, has a proper run at it, maybe we get what we want from Christian Salem, that 2021 version.
I don't think we're going to get 21 version, but we could get close.
Well, that's the biggest question. Has the ship sailed?
Yeah, we're not going to get 21 Salem.
Has 21 Salem, is that gone?
Yeah.
I reckon.
See ya.
Really?
Yeah,
He's only
he can
29.
still be.
Yeah, but
that's
like
not that young for.
he was a
AFL.
man. I feel like he should have been All Australian that year. Like he was
that 2021. He was fucked.
insane.
Like, remember the game against Richmond when we were going for like 6 in a row and we were like, oh, we're actually really good now.
he's
Biggest kick-ons ever.
I think he had 39
Do you remember the kick-ons?
that game from halfback.
We all went to
Yeah.
Nuggets, like 50 of us.
Yeah, because we knew we were going to flag. It was great.
Scotty and his brother-in-law who was there, Michael, he's an Essendon fan, but he went to the game. They like keep bringing that night up, like all the time. That was the most famous night of their lives. It was pretty fucking good. And I think we'd just come out of COVID. So everyone was ready to, let loose. Brief Dogs played 9 in 2020, 25 in 21, 18 in 22. I can't remember what he did in 22.
so ended 2018. We suck. We get a pick. No, sorry. End of 2019, we suck, and then we get his pick. Pick 27, wasn't it?
No, his pick was 32.
32,
I'm just talking
sorry.
about his games. He has played
So
a lot.
2020 was his first year.
2020 was his first year. He has played a lot of games. He hasn't missed many ever since he came into the team. He only missed...
He would have never been dropped.
No, because in 2022, what happened? He got injured. I can't even remember. Because he played 18 that year. So he must have been injured at some point. I actually can't remember
Still,
what his injury
18 is a
was.
fair amount of footy to play in a year.
And then he played all the games last year.
25.
He's going to play all the games this year, and he played all the games in 21. So he's durable as fuck.
Yeah.
He's a big unit. And similar to
He's a
what
gun.
we were talking about with Colton, he's so much bigger than I thought he was when you see him at the ground. He's literally like a Petrarca size. He's massive. So he'll he could be anything.
Can Jefferson come on next year in any way?
Nah. No. He
Yeah,
might.
when you haven't played one game, like what are you?
Yeah, but it's one
I
of
think
those-
he
but
can.
I think he's been unlucky. Like Goodwin clearly has favourites and always has. And again, I don't know anything, but I don't know why he doesn't play him sometimes. Like Jefferson's had games where he's kicked 4 or 5 in the VFL and just still doesn't get a look. So I don't know what it is. Like this would have been a perfect game. Like just put him in last round, see what he does. And I haven't seen the teams, but I'm guessing he's not in.
Bailey Laurie in for Sparrow. Sparrow's injured. That's it. Nothing else.
So, yeah.
Jeez, it's a boring change.
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
They're the only
that's
changes.
Big old loss.
Jefferson, I believe he can be a player.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he's still young, isn't he?
But
I don't know.
yeah, who cares?
I think it would be shocking and very, very surprising if he doesn't get a look in next year
Oh, you have to.
at some point. Now, if he doesn't get a look in at some point next year, let's say we're 9 or 10 rounds in and we still haven't seen him, he
Yeah.
could end up being Lucas Cook 2.0.
Yeah.
What pick was he?
Who? Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Go and have a
13.
look.
Yeah,
What was he?
13.
Was he 13?
Can you tell me who was taken after him?
Pick
Like,
15.
3 picks after.
Same shit.
I think, or we had 13.
It was
but
the
then
academy bullshit.
The academy
Yeah,
bullshit.
of course. No, I'm going to give it to you.
Who
don't
went?
worry.
Who went a few picks after him?
In that draft?
I just want to know the players around him.
No, I'll go and have a look.
Are there any other forwards in there? Maybe
Yeah,
like
we'll go
Oscar
and have a
Allen
look.
or something? Or is he?
No, he was
Oh.
way before.
Wait,
Don't,
yeah, he
are
was
we
like
going to do
25.
the Mackay and Kerno thing?
No,
No, well,
that's
I'm just
past us.
interested to see if
But
if
gee,
we
we'll
missed
talk
something.
about it again.
I mean, which is hard.
Mackay and Kerno thing fucks with my brain.
Imagine a Kerno.
Oh.
Nah, don't even think about
Or a
it.
Harry. Imagine a Harry.
Just anything.
I mean, I got a Harry in there.
Just not Wiedemann.
I got a Harry, but he's 2.5. He can't play for us. Let's have a look. So I'm just looking at the players from the 2022 draft. Might actually go through it. Aaron Cadman, number 1.
He's done nothing, has he?
Well, he started
Oh,
to
he's,
become a player.
he's But he's going to play. He's going to be a player.
And do you know what?
He looks like a freak.
I
Yeah,
trust.
well,
I
you'd
reckon
hope so.
I trust Marca's judgment more than most people.
I couldn't tell
More
you.
than anyone. When you go, he's going to be a player. Mental note.
He said that about Wiedemann.
Cabin's. Yeah,
Did
because
you
he's
say
from
that
Vermont.
about Wiedemann?
Well,
Wiedemann
yeah,
was his boy.
Wiedemann was my boy. He's
Yeah.
from
Why
Vermont
was he your
South.
boy? That's like me and Carl Morton.
Well, we both grew up in Vermont South, so like there's a, there's a connection there. We both played at Vermont Eagles, and
Both
you know
power
he
forwards.
kicked 3 goals in a final against Geelong, and I thought, cool.
Sure. Will Ashcroft, pick 2. Harry Sheasel, pick 3. George Wardlaw, pick 4. Elijah,
draft.
how do you say it? Sardis?
Yeah, Sardis went to Essendon, who's
Pick 5.
hasn't been doing well, and then Windsor.
No,
No.
because Windsor was last year. Bailey Humphrey,
Sorry.
pick 6. He can play.
Yeah.
Is that not a player? That's a player.
Yeah.
Cam McKenzie, Hawthorn, pick 7. Jai Clark, pick 8. Geelong. Ruben Jimby,
Gibney.
same shit.
Yeah,
pick
from
9, West
Eagles.
Coast. Philippou, 10. Ollie Hollins, 11. Jasper Fletcher, 12. Some bloke at Bulldogs, who cares? Elijah Hewitt, and then Jeffo.
Yeah.
So Jeffo is the first key forward.
So go through.
So he was the
go
best
through
key
the
forward in
go
the
through the
draft.
next 5.
besides Cadman.
Harry Rouston, Max Michaelani, Josh Weddle. Fuck.
Oh,
Weddle.
I know.
we were talking about him.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ed Allen, Jacob Konstanski, and then Darcy Jones. Oof, he can play too.
He's fun, but like we at
Weddle.
at that time we had a little
Weddle.
little
How good
bow
does
wow.
Sam Darcy look, by the way? I was just thinking about
Yeah,
How good is Weddle?
yeah. Weddle's psycho.
All right, before we wrap up, we'll do Collingwood prediction. We'll do Bog. We'll do the actual prediction itself, margin, and then let's do Sunday really quickly, and let's get Derek involved because Derek just wants to be away from the kids. He's not going anywhere. So we'll start with Sunday, and then we'll wrap it up with Melbourne and Collingwood.
What's Sunday?
Sunday, like I was saying this to Adzy before,
I'm not invited.
I'm excited for Sunday as a neutral.
Oh,
It's
you're
just like
talking
the
about how
live
the.
ladder
I
and
thought
the-
like there
Are
was some
you-
event
Yeah.
on Sunday.
I'm-
Like I've got another event.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Sunday because Bulldogs play GWS into St Kilda and Carlton into what we hope won't be a dead rubber Freo and Port.
I've been so checked out, if I'm honest.
It's the only
Yeah.
semblance of excitement
Borderline
I've had in
depressed.
weeks.
Like, yeah, like I've been I used to watch 360 every night on the couch. Like SEN, in the mornings. I've honestly, like in the last 6 to 8 weeks, I've just like had to take a step back.
Since Brisbane.
Pretty much.
Do you reckon you'll get it back when the finals start?
Mate, 100%. When the draft is on and when trades is on, I'll be back
Yeah,
on.
but I mean more so just as a neutral. Like-
yeah, well, I'll have to pay my membership and sound like a fucking
Are you-
privileged brat over
Are you
here.
not? Are you not excited for Sunday?
No.
No, because we're
No,
not in there.
I'll say no. I'm
Okay,
not.
we're not contending.
No, I reckon I'll get around the games this week.
I'll watch them.
St Kilda Carlton.
Yeah, because I love the
Port Freo,
Yeah, but it's only if it's live. Like
if it
as in-
matters. If it matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I've got a weird feeling about GWS beating doggies.
Oh yeah, that's not.
Is
a
that weird?
feeling.
Aren't GWS
I
good?
think it's really weird because of how well Bulldogs do at Ballarat. No?
They've lost there though.
Yeah.
And Giants, I feel like are just a great travelling side
If they did that, and
because they're used to playing. They used to kind of being the underdogs in a way anywhere.
imagine if doggies didn't make it because Carlton then won and then Freo then won, and Dogs didn't make it.
Yeah, wow.
I think the Dogs are going to win the flag for what it's worth. Like, I reckon they're that good.
I think Sydney have come on again.
No, don't say that. That's
I've
my
got
worst
no
nightmare.
I know.
I cannot stomach that if that happens. No fucking way. But Carlton St Kilda, that's obviously the biggest game of the round. Like Saints can do it, obviously. Yeah,
Imagine hearing that.
Saints can do it.
Carlton, St Kilda's the biggest game
At
in the
Marvel.
round. Yeah, haven't heard that in a while.
It is the biggest game
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, just in terms of the how big it is for Carlton, basically.
Carlton's still without Kerno Mackay.
Kerno may be back. I'll have a look. Anyway, you're obviously not as excited as I was.
Clearly.
Derek, are you excited? You must be pumped.
Very, very excited.
Are you just excited because, this is where St Kilda have got to in their existence? Finishing.
I don't want to be accused of too much positivity, but it is pretty fucking exciting
to end
to
the
have
season.
the opportunity to cause a bit of pain to Carlton.
Yeah.
It's just will be lovely.
Yeah.
But even if it doesn't pan out, stiff shit.
True.
Where can we finish? What's our
10th.
And how low can we finish?
12th or 13th?
So I think we'll either end up
please
with pick 6 or pick 7. I thought that was the...
Well, no, we can finish 10th if we beat Collingwood.
Okay.
Which probably means we should end it there. Predictions. Marca, you start. Then it'll come to me and then we'll go to Adzy.
Another spirited loss.
Great. By how many points?
18
Okay. Best on?
for us.
Yeah, for us. Fuck Collingwood.
Jack Viney.
Jack Viney, of course. Said it beautifully. I think we'll win. It's a dead rubber. It's where we do our best work, clearly off the basis of last week. That's our sample size. And I think we'll win comfortably. 5-6 goals.
Comfortably. I like
Yeah. I think Collingwood won't take it as seriously as us. We'll try and hang our hat on it. And in terms of Bog, I reckon it'll be Nibbler.
Is he playing on Nick again?
I just reckon he'll go ballistic. I reckon he'll just literally play it like it's his last ever game of footy. He'll treat it like that. I know he's going to go to Adelaide or Port. I just got a feeling.
So he's contracted?
Yeah.
What are we getting for him?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Actually don't know.
It'd have to be pretty good.
The Fog?
No
Yeah.
chance. Probably a second rounder.
Tex.
Something like that. What about you, Adzy?
Yeah, I think we'll win just from the re-signings that have happened, Max and Viney, and as you said, like dead rubber, similar to last week. I'm just hoping to see that our forward line, hopefully Roo kicks a few and Disco can kick a few, give us something to get excited about into next year. I'll say it'll be really close, win by 3 points.
Ooh.
I'm going to go big Maxi, best on ground, just back against the wall sort of last week or two. And he is a great leader of the club, and I reckon he'll step up and win it for us.
Nice. I like it. Charlie Curnow is back for Carlton. So is Adam Sard. So there we go. Mark,
Okay.
It's great to see your enthusiasm about Sunday.
Thanks, mate.
I mean, you've obviously got your heart and mind set on your brother's wedding.
Got a big day tomorrow.
It's a big day. What time's it kick off? The 3:34?
Yeah, 4.
Fuck, it's always the same time.
Taking the day off.
When did you get married?
Last year,
Yeah, but what
January.
time? 4?
Yeah, I think 4.
Why does everyone always get married at 4?
It's a great time to start drinking.
4's a good time.
Is it? Oh, I mean, it's good for
What
the
time
bridal
did you
party.
start?
4? It's a great time for the bridal party as well because you get to start at about 12.
Yeah.
Sink a few. Did you have a couple before the ceremony?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Need to nothing too silly, but yeah, had a couple.
Couple of wild balls.
Need to yeah, yeah, couple of 16%ers, and then yeah, it was flying.
Nice. Now, I don't normally do this. I haven't asked for ratings and reviews on the show. I don't think I've ever asked for this. But I've come out of a...
Maybe no reviews.
No, I've got... Tell us what you think about Adzy and Marca in your reviews. So if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, because it's the end. This is the end, right? We're not going to be back in the studio. Maybe ever. Who knows? Nah, just kidding. Probably be here because I'm a sad soul.
I reckon I got one. If you do it again next year,
Yeah.
I got one more.
It could be last one ever, and it's almost like flag or bust.
Yeah.
If we don't flag next year, I'm being serious.
The last
It could be see ya.
the
Yeah.
last pod will be funny, I think. I think we should make like a
Bring everyone in.
you think of from 17 when we started this thing.
Yeah.
From 2017 to the end of next year, you do like a pile and go through the pile, which would take 2 hours.
Of every every player from
every
the
listed
time.
player from that time.
Yeah. That would be amazing. I'm just thinking about the pile right now.
Oh, it's such
Billy
a big
Stretch,
pile.
Jake Hendy Harris. Keep reeling off names, please. Chris Dawes.
Fullerton.
Lockie. There'd be a lot.
Jefferson.
Connor Brown. Remember when I said that? No, we love him. He's going to be a good player.
Yeah, great tackler. Maybe he's the next Nibbler.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good shout.
Good 13 minutes you got.
Who was super sub again? Shaggy.
Shaggy, yeah.
In the semi,
Yeah, in the semi.
it didn't even come on. It's ridiculous. So if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, give us a 5-star. Give us a rating. Tell us what you think of Marca and Adzy. I've come out of a session at work about ratings and reviews, and it's a bit of a They obviously help you with your search engine and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of hard work and graft, and it's more a lot of sacrifice from Fee, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
To allow me to-
It should be said that you put in a mountain of
Yeah.
work for this. Like me and Adzy
We just rock up and
literally
have a few
do
beers.
nothing and rock up and like have a couple of beers that you've bought and smoke a vape. So to all the listeners, you should be thanking
Yeah.
Hordo for all his efforts and input. And, you know, you've had your second kid this year, which is such a massive thing for you and your family. So yeah, shouts to Fee. Shouts to your family and
To Fee.
thank you for doing what you do, mate.
No, it's good. I enjoy it. It's not about me. There's other fan channels out there that make it about themselves.
Oh, whack.
No, but like you still
They know who they are, and I
you
hope
still
they hear that.
but like it still has to be said that, you know,
Yeah.
without you there's no debrief.
Yeah, for sure. But it's, again, I say this every
Look,
single
mate,
time.
it's not all about you.
I say it all the time. I'm just a fan. I'm
Yeah.
just one of you. That's all I ever want to be. And I hope that comes across. I think we're pretty humble, pretty modest. We just talk shit. We drink beers. We love this football club. I stand at M48. I'll never leave M48. I never leave my people. I just love this club, and I genuinely believe we can bounce back next year.
I love this club.
Yeah, I fucking love them too.
I can't get over how much it just makes me feel emotionally.
It's
and
fucked.
I'll never understand
Yeah.
how it does. And that's probably why I've had to like pull myself back a little bit in the last month or over a month because
You seem a bit hurt
Yeah.
by this year.
yeah, man.
I think
Absolutely.
the last two bundled in. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But
No, it's true. It's been a
But you only get that through just loving something so much and kind of pouring in so much into it, whether that be emotional investment, financial investment, you know, time. You know, we
It's
all
been a
put
roller
in our
coaster.
own way, and like all the fans listening would probably feel the exact same way. You just want to go into the office, you know, on Monday and be happy and proud of your club. But this year, it's just like every question. God, what's happening with the D's, mate? I don't fucking know,
yeah,
mate.
I don't know.
Back off.
yeah.
I'll kill you. Literally, we'll kill you.
Is that to one of your students?
Yeah, that's to my year sevens. As I hold them up against the locker.
no. It's
Give me your vape.
yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I've always said it. We're a medium, sometimes small. If you look at the GWS and Port crowds, supporter base. But I've always said this. We've got a core group of supporters that follow this football club, and they are as crazy and as passionate as you've ever seen in your life. We're a part of that, clearly. We're at the top echelon of those types of nuffies that support this football club. Football club's been through a lot of shit. those 60s when Norm Smith left, the 70s and 80s that Dad doesn't ever want to speak about, particularly 87 with Jimmy running through the mark. And then we come good and we play finals and we have a little bit of success. You go into Neil and then we've got that horrible 8 years where it felt like we'd never get our football club back. But the thing I'm super proud of, I've always said this, we make really good people. There's so many people that get acknowledged and celebrated in the AFL that are Melbourne Football Club people. So I always hang my hat on that. The other thing I always hang my hat on is the way that it is binded every single person that's got a connection with this football club. It's almost like the trauma has made us stronger together. The Neil Danaher era is really interesting for me, and talking to Russell Robertson every second week this season on the podcast has been amazing to get to know him better. That group of players that played under Neil for that almost 10 years are as tight-knit a group of ex-players you've ever seen in your life. So all of those things I'm super, super proud of. And I genuinely do believe when you get signings like Jack Viney and Max Gawn this week, and you see some of the younger players that we've blooded this year and what we're trying to do on the fly to regenerate this list, it's an incredibly tough and tight competition, but I have a firm belief that I think I know what they're doing. Like, I believe in them. It can be hard at times because you might have a really poor loss like we did against Fremantle and Alice Springs, and you think to yourself, maybe they're pulling the wool over our eyes and we're not as close as we think we are. I think I'm with Adzy. It's just a few minor tweaks to the jigsaw puzzle next year, and I reckon we're back in it. And I reckon we can do damage again. I reckon we can get to the G again. We can win finals again. And the one big hope for me is that we can recapture what we did against Geelong and Hawthorn in the 2018 final series. This football club can be bigger than what it is. And those two finals for me were an illustration of that. And I feel like it's there. We've just got to unlock it again. And the easiest way to unlock it for me is to play a better brand of footy. So if we can play a better, more attractive brand of footy that Melbourne supporters want to go and want to see and want to revel in next year, then I think we can start to unlock the potential of this football club. I think there's way too much, I guess I call it a mantra of feeling sorry for ourselves when it gets a little bit too tough.
I feel like also there was just so much angst about succeeding and expectation and a belief that we should be,
Should be there. Or we have a divine right to win a grand final.
But now with this year, it's like reset.
Yep. So I'm bullish that we can get back there and we can do it again. And hopefully we get back there and we do it again and we can celebrate together and we can enjoy it next year. But I'm not going to lie, it's been the most exhausting year since doing this podcast. Easily. It has been draining. Last year was draining, don't get me wrong, because it was the hope of being there
this year's so much worse.
But this year...
2019 was weird.
2019 was weird, but it was easy because you wrote it off after about 8 rounds. This one is Gus retiring, Joel Smith, you idiot, Clayton in the interrupted preseason. Petty doesn't get a preseason. Track has an injury. Gawn has an injury. May has an injury. Lever goes down at the worst ever time, and it's like blow after blow after blow. It's like, how many fucking punches do we have to take this year? And then just the constant speculation that we see from some of the people in the media who are an absolute disgrace, by the way. And, whatever. They'll continue to do what they do. So it's been a really tough year. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say it's been easy to rock up every week because it hasn't. I said it 3 weeks ago. I wish we could have just ended the season after round 20, round 21, or even earlier than that. Like, it's been hard to front up. It's been hard to talk about it. You put on a brave face. You feel like you've got a duty to get behind a microphone, but it's been a hard year.
That's the beauty about footy.
But we bounce back next year.
We'll be back.
And we are dumb enough to believe in him again.
Yeah.
Regardless
I'm already
of what
believing.
happens. Yeah. Are we flagged?
Yeah, it's flagged.
Just beat the Pies. Give us something to hang our hat on. Do it for Nibbler. Get down to the G. Ratings and reviews, Apple and Spotify. As I said, I never really asked for
Do
them.
it for staff.
Do the ratings for staff. No, get on there and give us a 5-star on Apple and Spotify. Tell us what you think about the show, and we'd love club, and I think we're going to go to the pub and enjoy ourselves. This is the last pod in the studio for a while. So, Derek.
You're a king, Derek.
Thanks, Derek.
Derek, for the people that don't know Derek is the easiest going, most laid back operator, and he makes it so simple for us. And I really appreciate it. And we just love these digs. Like, this studio is very much us. So if you're interested in doing podcasts, he does a lot of business podcasts in here. If you want to hit him up, please do. Castaway Studios. If not, just hit me up. DeeBrief, Insta, DM me, whatever you want to do. And I'll put you in contact with Derek. But he runs a great setup. He runs a great service. And he's here every week. And he sacrifices time away from his family to do this. So we appreciate it, Derek. And hopefully the Saints win on the weekend for you, mate. Go Saints. All right, we'll leave it there. We're out. I'll be back on the review shows with Benny, Scotty, Robbo's Rundown, player ratings, and then we're out, and then we can all just chill the fuck out.
See you guys. Been
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Been pretty shit.
Well said.
Yeah.
Go D's.
Go Days.
There's nothing else to say except go D's.
Love club.
Forever.